What's up, everybody? Man, it's your boy, Mr. Duga, coming at y'all with another video, man. And today, man, I'm going to preview and predict Sunday night's big time matchup. You have the 1-0 Philadelphia Eagles taking on the 0-1 Atlanta Falcons on Sunday Night Football down at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia, yo. First taking a look at the opponents, man, the Atlanta Falcons, man. They coming in with an 0-1 record after falling to the Minnesota Vikings on the road last week by a score of 28-12. In a game that they just got physically manhandled, yo. The Vikings had over 100 yards rushing in the first half, yo. They just lined up and ran right down their throats all game long. Um, Kirk Cousins only threw 10 passes. Like, that is completely unheard of in today's NFL, man, when you got people going up and down the field, throwing the ball 40, 50 times. 10 passes, yo. That is real old school football, yo. Adam Thielen caught a touchdown pass. Dalvin Cook ran one in, and Kirk Cousins got one in on a quarterback sneak. Um, Yeah, like they played well, man. The Vikings played well, man. They dominated them. Defensively coming up with a couple of turnovers. Including we even had one in the end zone. On a Matt Ryan pass later on in the game, yo. Yeah, they just got manhandled, man. Matt Ryan got a lot of pressure on him. Like I said, they couldn't stop the run. Julio had a real quiet game until he got a touchdown late in the game as well as Calvin Ridley, but they pretty much got shut down, yo. So they're gonna come into this game very agitated, you know, not only trying to prove that last week, in their mind was a fluke, but that they could beat this Philadelphia Eagles team who have beaten them, I think, now like 3 straight times, yo. Um, yeah, the thing when you look at this team, man, offensive line, they're dealing with some injuries. They spent 2 first-round picks to shore up their offensive line, but one of the guys, I think they 14th overall pick had broke his foot. Prayers for him, and the 31st overall pick, he's dealing with like a heart condition, man. So he's playing, but I think he's playing sparingly right now as he deals with that heart condition. Yo, prayers to him for that, man. They also there by I think I want to say Alex Mack and Jake Matthews they tackle. My offensive line that isn't great, but looking to do better. In their backfield, they got they lost Tevin Coleman to free agency to the San Francisco 49ers. In comes Smith, who's actually done a decent job filling in for them, yo. Him and Devante Freeman, who has had a real case of the fumbleitis lately, man. When he's on point, he's a really talented running back, running and catching the ball. But he's fumbled a lot lately, yo. Well, he's even fumbled last week also. Um, the receiving core is one of the best receiving cores in football, yo, led by Julio Jones, who I believe is the best wide receiver in the NFL. Also, Mohamed Sanu and Calvin Ridley. That's a nice trio of receivers. And they also have Austin Hooper, who is becoming, a solid tight end. And of course, the man pulling the trigger is Matty Ice, Matt Ryan, who, won the MVP a couple of years ago and appeared in the Super Bowl. And, he has his ups and downs, man. He has his moments where he doesn't play real well, like last week, with some bad turnovers. But whenever he's on and he's hot, man, he's one of the streakiest, hottest quarterbacks in all of football. On their defensive line, man, they led by a guy like Grady Jarrett, who everybody knows him from the 3 sacks in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. And Vic Beasley, former first round pick, and Tack McKinley, who's also a former first round pick. Their linebacker core is led by former LSU Tiger Deion Jones, who's a really good sideline to sideline linebacker, especially in coverage. And in the secondary, man, they led by guys like Desmond Trufant, Keanu Neal, and Ricardo Allen, yo. Led by head coach Dan Quinn, who has took over the responsibilities of calling the defense this season. And obviously for our Philadelphia Eagles, man, we coming in with a 1-0 record. Win last week over Division 4 Washington Redskins. Got off to a real ugly start in that game as the fans was booing. We was down 17-0, 20-7 at halftime. But then the second half we turned up. Like offensive line was absolutely spectacular. As I don't think Carson Wentz got hit at all in that game. Not to mention they opened up running lanes in that second half for guys like Miles Sanders, Jordan Howard and Darren Sproles. The receivers, man, DeSean Jackson is back, and boy, did he make a big impact, man. Having over 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. Alshon Jeffrey had, a receiving touchdown and I guess they call it a touchdown rush because he caught it behind the line of scrimmage. Zach Ertz had a quiet game, but he's still capable of being very, very, very effective. And of course, we led by the trigger man, Carson Wentz, who, looked great out there, man. To say he didn't play in a long time, he kind of a little rusty early on, but he looked great, man. He looked healthy, he looked fresh. He threw the ball with accuracy, downfield and intermediate and short. He was decisive with the football. He was well protected, and whenever he did get out of the pocket, he got out of the pocket with his eyes downfield, making completions, yo. Defensively, we got some work to do. We had a big loss, man. Malik Jackson, it looks like, is out for the season on side of Fletcher Cox. That's a loss that we could manage it, but it's tough. It really hurts the depth, but in comes Timmy Jernigan, who was the starter on side of Cox the year we won the Super Bowl. The pass rush didn't really get much pressure on Washington, man. Did very, very well against the run, but didn't do well rushing the passer at all. As I think Keenum only got sacked like once or twice. Um, Linebacking core did okay. Came up, with a couple of stops against the run. Led by guys like Nigel Bradham and Zach Brown. And the secondary played pitiful, man. We let this rookie McLaurin catch a 70-something yarder. He really was supposed to catch two of them as Case Keenum missed them on one. Poor tackling against Vernon Davis on the sideline. And basically let Keenum throw for 380 yards, which, that's not good at all, yo. Um, Looking at this matchup, man, for our Philadelphia Eagles, man, it comes down to running the football this week. I think we need a lineup and pound Jordan Howard and pound Miles Sanders right at this defense, man. The Minnesota Vikings have shown people that if you line up and run at them, you can have some success, yo. We don't need to get cute and pitch it out to Darren Sproles on 3rd and 1. We need to have straight meat and potatoes football, line up and pound it down their back. In that dome, it's gonna be loud. They're gonna play fast. They're gonna look to get at Wentz and they're gonna look to cover the receivers. The best way to make the defense physically tired and to take the crowd out of the game is running the ball, getting a nice 4 to 5 yards a pop, yo. Um, I like our receiving core against their secondary, man. I know Desmond Trufant is solid, but with DeSean Jackson, Alshon Jeffrey, Nelson Aguilar, who didn't really do much against Washington, Zach Ertz, Darius Goddard, Sproles out of the backfield. I think Atlanta gonna have a tough time trying to cover all of those guys, yo. If the offensive line performs like they should, which means opening up holes for the running lane and protecting Carson Wentz and pass protection. Like I said, it could get tough because especially Vic Beasley, in that dome, he could use his speed to get around guys. But if we could account for him, yo, I really like our chances in this football game to consistently move the football. Now, defensively is another story, man. It all depends on can our defensive front get after Matt Ryan, yo. If not, he will absolutely shred our secondary, man. With the receivers he have, we can't cover those guys, yo. So Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Timmy Jernigan, these guys are gonna have to put consistent pressure on Matt Ryan, which they don't have a great offensive line right now, so that's capable of being done. But we just gotta go out there and execute, yo. Um, so I like our Eagles on offense. I like us to move the ball in Atlanta if we run the football, not with Sproles, but with Howard and Sanders. And defensively, I don't like our chances against their secondary, but I do believe our front four could put some pressure on Matt Ryan and force him to throw the ball quicker than he wants to. My prediction for this game, man, it's gonna be a very, very tough game. I think it's gonna be even tougher considering the fact they went on the road and got whipped by the Minnesota Vikings. This team is a very good football team, man. They very talented all over the place, yo. Especially at the skill position. But I'm gonna take my Eagles in this game, man, simply because I think the Eagles are just too physical for Atlanta. I like the Eagles winning this matchup 31-21, yo, to improve to 2-0 on the season. But with that being said, man, that's all I got for y'all today. Appreciate y'all checking out the video. Go and subscribe to my YouTube channel, man. I'm gonna have Eagles content and NFL content throughout the year. Also on this coming Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Pacific, yo, I will do a live Q&A. Come on there, ask me anything. I'll answer your questions. I'll also give you a shout out, yo. Y'all have a blessed one. Fly, Eagles, fly.